Technology has changed the way we teach and the way we learn. The use of internet, social media, and mobile technologies is common these days among students. Lecturers need to find pedagogical approaches to integrate these technologies for academic purposes. With the higher education landscape changing in terms of student expectations and teaching methods, learning theories like constructivism are crucial to underpin this trend. Discuss technology in a constructivist approach. Constructivism is a learning theory that focuses on knowledge and explores how people learn. It suggests that people construct meaning through their interactions and experiences in social environments, according to Manus in 1960. Basically, based on observation and scientific study, it says that constructivism is about how people learn. It says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. When we encounter something new, we have to reconcile it with our previous ideas and experience. Maybe changing what we believe, or maybe discarding the new information as irrelevant. In any case, we are active creators of our own knowledge. To do this, we must seek to ask questions, explore, and assess. Take note that children do not need to be forced to learn. They are motivated by their own desire to make sense of the world. The following are the proponents of the constructivist theory. First, Jean Piaget. According to him, children learn when they are actively involved in the process. The teacher's role in traditional classrooms is seen as the sole giver of knowledge, and the student's role is that of a passive receiver. The constructivist approach encourages children to take an active part in learning by using their ideas and interests to drive the learning process. The role of the teacher in this model is to support children when they need it and guiding them to take control of their self-directed learning experiences. Next is John Dewey. According to him, knowledge occurs only from situations in which learners have to draw them out of meaningful experiences. These situations have to be integrated into a social context, such as a classroom, where students can take part in engaging activities and form a community of learners who construct their knowledge together. He stresses the importance of context in learning for the learner and the opportunities to apply the concepts that they are trying to learn. Next proponent is Lev Vygotsky. He introduced the social and cultural influences on learning and their role in the construction of knowledge. Vygotsky in 1978 is known as social constructivism because he stressed the importance of social context and culture within the learning process. He described learning as a collaborative activity and explained the significance of the role of history and the social environment bear in acquiring new knowledge. Learning takes place when the children interact with the social environment and internalize their experience. He also suggests that cognitive development is limited to a certain range of a particular age. However, with the help of social interaction, such as assistance from a tutor, students can understand concepts that they cannot know on their own. The fourth one is Jerome Bruner. According to him, learning is an active process where learners construct new knowledge based upon their previous experiences, or what we call schema. In this sense, the instructor should encourage learners to discover the information by themselves. Children are likely to remember what they have learned if they discover the knowledge on their own. Brunner also developed the three stages of representation, which are 1. Inactive, 2. Iconic, and the third one is symbolic. A final theoretical approach can be found in Seymour Papert's notion of constructionism. As Papert argued in 1991, the notion of constructionism shares constructivism's view of learning as building knowledge structures through progressive internalization of actions. It then adds the idea that this happens especially felicitously in a context where the learner is consciously engaged in constructing a public entity, whether it's a sandcastle on the beach or a theory of the universe. As people experience the world and reflect upon those experiences, they build their own representations and incorporate new information into their pre-existing knowledge called schemas. Related to this are the processes of assimilation and accommodation. As obviously seen in the picture in assimilation, every four-legged animal is supposed by the boy as a dog. That is because assimilation refers to the process of taking new information and fitting it into an existing schema. Accommodation then follows after assimilation, wherein it refers to using newly acquired information to revise and redevelop an existing schema. If you try to respond to a boy calling a cat on a dog and correct him that that four-legged animal is not a dog but actually a cat, well then, he will accommodate the idea that not all four-legged animal is a dog, but rather there are different kinds of animals that are four-legged, and then accommodate the idea that it is a cat. We have to take note that there are consequences of constructivist theory, and those are: students learn best when engaged in learning experiences, rather passively receiving information. This is in connection with the learning by doing. Second, learning is inherently a social process because it is embedded with the social context as students and teachers work together to build knowledge. Third, because knowledge cannot be imparted directly to students, the goal of teaching is to provide experiences that facilitate the construction of knowledge. This last point is worth repeating. A traditional approach to teaching focuses on delivering information to students. Yet, constructivism argues that you cannot directly impart this information. Only an experience can facilitate students to construct their own knowledge. Therefore, the goal of teaching is to design these experiences. Going back to Papert's he thought that the computer's role is to be used as a tool for the mind and idea processor. He developed logo language as a tool to improve the way that children think and solve problems. He suggested that this tool provided opportunities for learners to experience collaboration, visualization, simulation, and programming. He created Logo Turtle. A small robot was developed for children to use it to solve problems. He insisted that use of simple program like logo language can strengthen children's ability to learn knowledge. He suggests that schools are well behind the rapidly changing society, which is deeply shaped by changes in technology. By not keeping up with new technologies, students see school and the curriculum that it offers as irrelevant to their life. This may affect their attitude towards learning and schools as institutions. Essential components to constructivist teaching technology. There are several main components to include in your plan, or if you plan on adhering to constructivist principles in your classroom or designing your lessons. The following are from Baviskar, Hotel, and Whitney in 2009. 1. Elicit prior knowledge. It is created in relation to learners' pre-existing knowledge or STEM. Lessons, therefore, requiring eliciting relevant prior knowledge, activities should include pre-tests, informal interviews and small group warm-up, activities that require recall or of prior knowledge. Number 2, create cognitive dissonance. Assign problems and activities that will challenge students. Knowledge is built as learners encounter novel problems and revise existing schemas as they work through the challenging problem. Next, apply knowledge with feedback. Encourage students to evaluate new information and modify existing knowledge. Activities should allow for students to compare pre-existing schema to the novel situation. Activities may include presentations, small group or class discussions, and quizzes. Next, reflect on learning. Provide students with an opportunity to show you or themselves what they have learned. Activities might include presentations, reflective papers, or creating a step-by-step tutorial of another student. Next, reciprocal teaching and learning. Allow pairs of students to teach each other. Next, inquiry-based learning or IBL. Learners pose their own questions and seek answers to their questions via research and direct observation. They present their supporting evidence to answer the questions. They draw connections between their pre-existing knowledge and the knowledge they've acquired through the activity. Finally, they draw conclusions, highlight remaining gaps in knowledge, and develop plans for future investigations. Next is problem-based learning or PBL. The main idea of PBL is similar to IBL. Learners acquire knowledge by devising a solution to a problem. PBL differs from IBL in that PBL activities provide students with real-world problems that require students to work together to devise a solution. As the group works through the challenging real-world problem, learners acquire communication and collaboration skills in addition to knowledge. Cooperative learning. Students work together in small groups to maximize their own and each other's learning. Cooperative learning differs from typical group work in that it requires interdependence among group members to solve a problem or complete an assignment. This video explains whether technology by itself can make the education process more effective, or if technology needs an appropriate instructional theory to indicate its positive effect on the learner.